Just popping in to say hi to Ava. Well, and Jazmin too.
Hi, Trevor. How are you doing? I was just about to send you a chat message.
And in case you've never seen it, that's a picture of me in a wig at a she event in the background there.
Oh, no way. I love it. I love it.
He's the president.
Yeah, nice. And great to see you, Trevor.
Good to see you. And August did a great job on the call today too. So
Amazing. Oh, you tuned in for his. Amazing. Awesome.
well, I just wanted to say hi to all my favorite ladies. You better show your wedding pictures I took, Jazmin.
Oh, I don't have anything prepared. I'll show something. I'll pull something out.
Oh,
I would love to see those.
beautiful bride.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks for setting this up, Trevor.
Yeah, glad you could be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you too. You send me
Yep.
yeah, you send me a link.
All right, welcome everybody. We're super excited for another day with she. We have an unstoppable lady today. Buckle up, everybody. She is on a mission to help 1 million women create wealth through real estate while fostering personal, professional, and spiritual growth. So, thank you everybody for joining us on this mission. We look forward to connecting with you. Hopefully, you can get value from all the amazing speakers from all of us. Remember that the power happens when we help, support, and inspire each other. So that's why we all are here. So welcome everybody. And just a quick reminder, we're gonna be live on Facebook. So be sure to turn on your cameras. We would love to see your smiles. Even if you are making dinner, doing all those crazy things, running, whatever you're doing, we still would love to see your face. Turn on your cameras. A little disclaimer, we are a real estate investment firm. We're not offering any financial advice. Consult your CPA, consult your legal advisor. Every speaker that we bring offer different products or services. We do not endorse any of them. We bring them because we want to learn from them. We want to be friends with them, right? But do your due diligence if you decide to get into business with any of them. Okay, a little bit about us. Well, she was brought to you by Massive Capital. We are a real estate investment firm, as I mentioned. We are a vertically integrated company. We have a portfolio of 1,400 multifamily units across Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, and Colorado. We also do new construction for retail centers. We have a sister company. Combined together, we're proud to say that we have over $500 million of assets under management. As I mentioned, we're vertically integrated, so we have the fund, we have the triple net brokerage, the property management on the triple net side, the land development, the construction, and massive masters, right? For people who want to learn or just expand their portfolio as a general partner, start doing deals with us. This is a great way for the principals to take you under the wing, and just like Trevor said, get to see how the sausage gets made, right? All the behind the scenes on how these deals happen. So if that's something that you're interested in, feel free to book a call with me. Attend some of our events so you can see what we're doing. And yeah, that's a little bit about us. Remember that the first and the third Tuesday I'm here with she, but the other Tuesday, the second and the third Tuesday, Trevor is here doing a transformational Tuesday where he talks everything about commercial real estate. So if you want to learn more about investing on just the commercial side, be sure to join us as well. I think he's here. Oh no, he dropped off. But yeah, just Trevor. Many of you came here because of Trevor. We say he's our president. He's always supporting. As a matter of fact, he invited our speaker today. So just be sure to join us. We have a sponsor. Skyline Title is a title company for investors. It's super important that we have a title company who understands how to work with investors, somebody who can help us have a smooth transaction. So if you haven't connected with them, if you had never closed a property with them, I highly recommend you to check them out. They have different locations across the country, so check them out. Okay, for those who are in Houston, on next Thursday, the 14th, we're gonna do a property tour on one of our assets in Pasadena. So we're gonna walk you. We closed on this property like slightly over 3 years ago. And we've been to, it's been a fun journey with this property. Pretty much everything that could possibly go wrong in a property, this happened to this asset. So we're gonna talk about how we have pivoted this asset, all the challenges that we have had. Some of the investors who are in this asset will be joining, and you will hear from them, from us. So this is a really good opportunity just to learn the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you're in Houston, let me know. I'm gonna put the link on the chat so you can register. You must RSVP, and we look forward to seeing you there here in Houston. All right. Well, we go across the country, hosting events for, for all of you. As I mentioned, the power happens when we meet in person, when we help, support, inspire each other, when we learn about what one another is doing. So stay tuned. We have a Facebook group, we have a WhatsApp group where we share all the events that we're attending, the events that we're hosting. And then a little bit about real estate and why I personally decided to invest in real estate. Number one is cash flow. Real estate offers different streams of income just by investing. At the end of the month or at the end of the quarter, we'd receive checks because the property is generating another stream of income for us. So that's number one. Number two is a long-term appreciation. On average, women keeps 81% of their wealth in cash, with, as we know, it will lose value over time with everything happening in the economy. And that was me. I was just saving money because I wanted to start a business, but I didn't know what kind of business to start. So that's how I landed in real estate by accident, because I thought to myself, well, I figure what kind of business I'm gonna start. I'm gonna buy a piece of real estate because if anything, my money is gonna appreciate, right? And in the bank, you only make 0.001%. So this is a really good option, either if you have just money saving on your savings account or just money on retirement accounts. There are trillions of dollars sitting on retirement accounts underperforming. So just check on that. If you have questions about how you can start investing your retirement account in real estate, book a call with me, and I'm happy to go over all that. Number three is leverage, right? 43% of women have to take career breaks, sometimes voluntarily, sometimes involuntary, either raising family, just, changing careers, or, taking care of elderly parents, different reasons, travel the world, different reasons, right? So what we do, that is important that we have a team behind us doing the heavy lifting, taking care of our assets, and making sure we're still receiving some cash flow, right? So that's another reason why I love this model of multifamily, because pretty much, with massive capital, we do the heavy lifting while you focus on either growing your business or doing whatever is important to you. 70% of women have never met a financial advisor. And another scary thing is that most financial advisors, they don't know anything about investing in real estate. We're so taught that contribute to your 401k and invest in the stock market, but there's so many other options. Just explore them, right? We have to take responsibility of that. Last but not least is tax benefits. Remember, it doesn't matter. Sorry, it doesn't matter how much money you make, but how much money you keep at the end of the year. So, multifamily real estate offers great tax benefits. At the end of the year, we send you a K1, which shows all the depreciation of the property. It's depreciation in paper because in reality, the property is just gaining value and you're receiving distributions, right? But for IRS purposes, this is how we are able to take some tax benefits. Of course, I'm not a CPA, but I have great CPAs in my team and working for us and with us. So if you have questions, book a call with me. I'm happy to connect you. Of course, every person has different situations. So let's just connect, and I'm happy to go over all this. Remember that she is not a membership. I don't charge anything for being here for my time or for the speaker's time. But if you are interested about investing in real estate, my only ask that you reach out to me and just connect with me. And of course, today we have an amazing speaker that can also talk about commercial real estate. Awesome. Well, I'm super excited to bring our speaker. Ava, she is an author, public speaker, educator, and CEO and co-founder of CPA Capital, a uniquely innovative real estate private equity firm helping investors invest in multifamily assets. Ava has been featured in publications such as Forbes, Yahoo Finance, and numerous podcasts and YouTube shows. Coming from a family of accountants, Ava values hard work, compassion above all, and she became the youngest award-winning agent at Remax. She was unstoppable after that. She decided to move to Vancouver, and that's where she built her network of real estate investors. She understood the market between United States and Canada, and she pivoted into multifamily. So welcome, Ava. I'm super excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me tonight. I'm so excited to join everybody here tonight and hopefully add value, make an impact, inspire everybody. So thanks for having me here, Jazmin.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure you will, because you have an amazing story. You started as a real estate agent, very young, very successful, really quick. You broke all the records. So tell us a little bit about that, and how did you pivot into commercial real estate?
Absolutely, I would love to. Just before I get started, can I see like a show of hands in the chat who's a mom? Here, do we have any? I
Absolutely.
did see one mom on the call. Or raise your hand. I think there might be a cool way to raise your hand. The reason I wanted to see that, I'm also a mom of two baby boys, actually two under two. I was laughing with Jazmin. There we go. Okay, we got some moms on here. Nice. We got a thumbs up. I've seen a baby on the call already, sitting on the lap of a mom. But Jazmin, I was laughing so hard because I asked ChatGPT to come up with some titles for this podcast, right? Because I wanted to try to promote it and everything like that. And I was thinking, okay, if you take a CEO, a mom, and of a real estate private equity firm, ChatGPT came up with the most hilarious things, and I wanted to share that to give everybody a quick laugh. They came up, and I'm asking about the moms because you'll laugh really hard. But here's some of the titles that they came up with. Okay, from diapers to deals, which is hilarious. Cash flow and car seats, which is hilarious. Nap time to net worth. So if you're a mom, you understand nap time's like heaven because you have like 2 hours or 3 hours to get a bunch done. So nap time to net worth, bottles to buildings, and then we had sippy cups to syndications. I was literally laughing so hard. So I just wanted to give everybody a quick laugh because this is my life. I mean, it's building a company, a real estate private equity firm, but it's also being a mom. And I always tell people I'm present for both of those on a daily basis. But yeah, let's get started. Let's go back to back in the day when I was 22 years old, before I was a mom and before I was in real estate private equity. I'll never forget when I was 17 years old, right out of high school, I wanted to get into real estate. I just had this beautiful love for real estate. And I just was like, I'm 17, nobody's going to take me serious. Like, who's going to trust me to do their biggest purchase? A 17-year-old is probably not going to happen. So I had a chat with myself in the mirror. And then I'm like, okay, the minute I turned 22, I ended up getting my broker's license and I became a broker. Now, I grew up in a really small town. I'm actually from Canada originally. I do live in the US part-time now in Naples, Florida. So we're kind of back and forth. But when I was 22, everybody kind of knew, well, everybody did know, like, and trust me. So it was a good career to get started in because obviously you need a lot of trust with people in order for them to trust you with this largest investment that they're going to make. So I did have a lot of know, like, and trust within the small city I was from. So that led me to becoming one of the top brokers. And I was absolutely having a blast. I built my career up and I remember one day I went and I sat my family down at the kitchen table at dinner time. I moved out, I owned my own home. And I looked at everybody and I said, I'm going to move to Vancouver. And they all they couldn't believe what I said. They're like, what are you talking about? You're going to move. Like, you have your house here, you have your business here, you have everything here. And I said, well, there's something missing. Everybody's getting married, having kids. I'm so young still. I'm like, it's just not happening for me here. And I was going to leave it all behind. I'm like, because obviously if you change provinces, you can no longer really sell real estate. You're not going to be there, boots on the ground. So everybody kind of looked at me a little bit crazy, and I looked at myself and said, this is crazy. But it was a big lesson that I taught myself that day and that I want to teach others is, like, getting out of your comfort zone is honestly paramount sometimes to excel at life and to succeed at what your dream might be. So my dream at the time was to move to Vancouver, which is a big city. It's expensive real estate, 3x what I was selling in Alberta. I'm like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And I remember moving to the big city, Vancouver, and I didn't know anybody. I packed, I sold my place sold in a slow market. It sold within 2 weeks. So I'm like, oh, the universe is saying that I'm making the right decision. Then I packed all my fashion that I could fit in the back of my car. And I drove literally 13 hours into the next province. And when I arrived, it was the most powerful feeling in the world. I knew I had to start from scratch, but I was looking at all these lights shining and the big, tall buildings. And I said, oh my God, I'm going to take over the city. And when it's crazy how the world works and the fire I had within me, but starting real estate in one of the most competitive markets in Canada, it's not as easy. And I didn't think it would be easy, but it's not as rainbow and sunshines as I thought it was going to be, obviously, right? Yeah, I thought I was going to execute the exact same model and my drive to door knock and all these things that I did in Alberta. I was going to do the same thing. It just didn't work that way. It didn't matter how hard I worked. I was like, oh my God, it's like almost impossible to get a listing here. Or how about meet people, right? Because nobody knows me, nobody likes me, nobody trusts me. So I'll never forget, I started working under like top brokers. They were kind of, just using me as their runaround horse. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not going to be as easy as I thought. The world works in mysterious ways. And I actually ended up meeting my partner. So that's the bigger picture here, right? Sometimes what you think is your dream is not actually what was meant to happen in your life, but getting out of your comfort zone leads you there, I would say. I met my partner, who was actually a builder in Vancouver, who was building luxury homes and doing ground up development projects. And I actually met him, and he started talking and kind of, talking about syndication and this business model and stuff like that. And I got really excited about it. That partner is now my husband today. We've been together for 6 years. We have 2 baby boys. We have Atlas, who's 20 months now. I can't believe it. And we have Apollo, who's just 7 months. So that's another reason, stepping out of my comfort zone, I was able to meet my husband. But we ended up starting a company, and it was about 5 years ago now that I pivoted to real estate private equity. And I completely, got out of brokerage, like being a broker about 4.5 years ago now. And I went all in on building a real estate private equity firm from the ground up. And that's really where it led me to where I am today. We've acquired about $230 million of assets across the US. Right now, we have, in one of the most turbulent economic cycles since the GFC, literally. We've been through so much in the last 5 years. I'd say we've been through every real estate cycle out there. So not only did I build this company during chaos, I also had a couple babies thrown in the mix and everything like that. You feel like you're Superwoman almost, but yeah. So right now we have a hyper focus on the state of Texas and Florida, particularly in Florida, Tampa, and in Texas, we're focused on Dallas and San Antonio. Our two main asset classes are multifamily institutional, so anything 100 doors plus, and then we are focused on acquiring BTR, so build to rent properties. Very unique business models on the both of them, but that's really my background.
Awesome. Yeah, super, super powerful story. And I think if you study every successful entrepreneur, everybody had to take completely kind of like drag themselves out of the comfort zone, and either voluntary, sometimes is involuntary, but that's what actually looking back is like that's what builds you, right? So thank you for sharing that. And of course you have built this private equity firm, and you have raised over $20 million on retail investors. So I'm super interested, because of course there are so many lessons learned, and you talk a lot about building trust, right? Nobody's gonna give you a dime unless they trust you, and this is super important because people are trusting you with their savings accounts, hard money, retirement accounts. So tell us a little bit about how do you build that trust with high net worth individuals.
Absolutely. It was funny when we started the company, it wasn't really my plan for me to be investor relations, right? Or be focused on the equity side of the business, right? It was more like, okay, I'm the CEO. I'm obviously going to be, we built up I literally built up every department from the ground up, and now I've streamlined it and built SOPs around everything in business and in my personal life. I have an SOP to go to the beach, like a standard operating procedure to go to the beach with the kids at nighttime. But I have a standard operating procedure when it comes to the investor relations department, the marketing department, sending out emails, like pretty much everything, how to have an investor call. So everything starts with SOPs. But when I started having conversations with investors, and I'm like, hey, you know what? This isn't really that, it's different than obviously helping somebody buy their first property or buy a property. It's obviously a little bit different. But I always say that my strength is probably relationships, talking to people. And I did kind of master the art of raising capital because, I really think let's simplify things. I know there's lots of books out there, and I know there's lots of gurus out there, and I know there's lots of training out there to master the art of raising capital. But I think that it's really important to note, like, it's really simple. What it is when you get on a call with an investor, obviously, other than knowing your business model and being an expert so that you can answer the questions correctly, investors can read you like the back of their hand, right? So if you're trying to follow what a guru told you on how to sell, for example, they can read you. It's like, it's not going to work. You need to just come from being a place of genuine. You have to be a genuine person. And I think that is number one key, just to simplify things. I can kind of get into how I did follow-ups, the nurturing process, and all of that fun stuff after the fact. But none of that really matters unless you can connect with that investor, right? And to connect with an investor, you just got to be a genuine person. You have to believe in the product that you're selling. You have to believe in it so much that you've invested your own hard money into it. And then you actually have to be genuine. So I don't subscribe to a lot of the ways to kind of, sell. Maybe you be careful you don't follow a guru who's trying to sell courses, for example, because sales people can be pushy. You literally want to be the opposite of that when it comes to selling an investment to an investor. You're not really selling them anything. You're trying to build trust with them. And that's it. It's that simple, right? So the minute you come across salesy, it turns people off right away. They want nothing to do with you. And it's going to be really difficult to raise capital. So me raising $20 million literally came from a place in my heart and connecting with people in a genuine way to the point where they, even when I didn't have any track record in the syndication world, right? I had to start from square one in the syndication world. Hey, have you ever closed on an institutional multifamily in the US? No, I haven't. So that takes a lot of trust building to have somebody cut you even a, $50,000 check. So I started from there, right? It obviously gets easier as you do have track record, but I did have to start somewhere as well. And it all came from that place of being genuine. Now, when you have somebody subscribe to you as a person, right, then obviously they'll be interested in your investment opportunities. It's usually the people that they're investing with. So yes, you might have all these great deals, but they're really investing in you because they're relying on you to execute the business plan, to communicate properly, and to, take their hard-earned cash and make sure that you don't lose it all. So after they subscribe to you and they want to invest in you, then it's like, okay, here's the process. And for my team, we have like an SOP, right? If investors, we have this nurturing process that is so important. You can't just meet an investor and expect them to invest in your next deal and not follow up with them, not nurture them. You want to make sure that, number one, for us here at CPI, we send an email out. We've been doing it for 4 years now on Sunday at 6 a.m. EST, 3 p.m. PST. Every single Sunday they hear from us. We're giving them market updates. We're giving them stats. We're giving them news articles, reporting of what's happening in the economy on a micro, macro level, you name it. So they see me come in their inbox every single week, Sunday at 6 a.m. EST. That's never changed. So they can rely on me for that. And the other thing too is like when they're on Facebook, when they're on Twitter, when they're on Instagram, when they're on LinkedIn, we want to make sure that we're in their face, right? So not only do we connect with them on all those social media platforms, but we want to make sure that they are constantly seeing us all the time, right? That also helps build a lot of trust after the initial call or before the initial call. A lot of investors say, oh my God, Ava, I feel like I know you already. I'm like, perfect, because that means that I've done my job, right? The last thing is just easy access, right? So always when I have a call with an investor, I mean, you always hear like get your first 1,000 raving fans, right? We've managed to do that here at CPI. I mean, in the last 5 years, I've literally had around just over 1,000 calls with high net worth investors. So what I've done is I've built out an investor relations team now that has to obviously take calls as well, because I can't keep up with that many people. You can't possibly. So you want to be easy access. So if somebody emails you, get back to them within 24 hours. It's all these things that really help build the trust within the investor. And now when an investor actually invests with you, we have a high repeat investor turnover. That is because on the 20th of every month at 6 a.m. EST, on the 20th, they're getting an email with a total update on their investment. Okay, we're talking about literally giving them an update on occupancy, what renovations have been done, down to reporting, monthly reporting, down to what's happening within the market itself, let's say in San Antonio or Tampa, what new things are being built, everything. So it's quite a long email, and a lot of investors might not have the time to read it, but I'll tell you, they absolutely love knowing that you are providing them this information, right? So we're very consistent with that as well. And then on a quarterly basis, I try to reach out to the investors, talk shop, how's it going? How's the family? And try to have that kind of one-on-one with people who have actually invested within our company.
Yeah, I love that because, of course, I focus on the same thing on investor relations and just sometimes calling them like, hey, just a friendly reminder that we have our investor update coming up. We have them every quarter as well. And they appreciate it. Sometimes they don't show up, or sometimes like, hey, I didn't see you on the investor call. Just wanted to make sure we send the recording that you get a chance to look at it. And it's like, no, but just give me the highlight, or there's some investors where it's like, just let me know if everything is good and when is my money coming in. And some others, of course, they really are hands-on on the property, or they really like to to go over everything, but I think that's every investor is different, but just for us to give them full access, like if you look at it or not, like here is what is happening on the property, the good, the bad, the ugly, the challenges. They really appreciate that, just transparency. um so yeah, no, I totally understand that part. And you also, I think, is this yeah, this is the do you have another process on the long term, yeah, to you mentioned that you have a high repetitive investor percentage. So what is your strategy, or walk you through the step on how to build a long-term relationship with these investors?
And now, here's someone you want to hear from, our sponsor.
For over 15 years, Skyline Title has been a trusted name in Texas real estate. From first-time homebuyers to seasoned investors, our team ensures a smooth, reliable closing experience every time. Backed by a decade of partnerships and proven success, we take pride in protecting your biggest investment, your home. Visit SkylineHTX.com to learn more.
I think it all comes down to that consistency I was talking about, right? I mean, I believe that communication is key, right? So we want to make sure that we're very consistent. And we also want to try to answer investors' questions before they ask them themselves. And that's part of the monthly reporting, right? It's like try to answer their questions before they even think about what they want to ask, right? That gains so much confidence as well. Oh, hey, I was thinking that. Oh, she answered it. So that's one thing. We also do, I mean, we have investors obviously all over Canada and all over the US. So we do try to host investor dinners, in-person events as well, where they can come out and meet everybody. Hey, we're going to San Antonio on this date. You know, if you can come out, that would be great. We're going to have an investor dinner. Or, hey, we're going to Toronto, for example, on this date. If you can come out, that would be great. So meeting people in person is always very exciting as well. I know Zoom is one thing, but isn't it right? Right? Meeting somebody in person, it's more of a special touch too. So I try to do that as well. Other than constantly speaking on platforms too, right? This is a huge part of building that trust, and again, as I mentioned, kind of constantly seeing you on social media platforms and stuff like that. So we'll send out an email, or speaking at conferences in person, right? We'll send out an email in person speaking engagements as well. Like I just went to Vancouver, spoke on stage, and had a ton of investors come out, and that also is nice for that long-term kind of nurture and meeting new investors as well. But it all just ties in together, and consistency is really key. Consistency and communication.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And I think the relationship really starts in person because, yeah, you can send 1 million emails, and of course, we have social media, and all that is very important. But when you meet them in person, that's when, the connection, hits different, and they really trust you. This is like, oh, yes, she's real. I think everything starts in person. That's why we also try to stay very active, attend to a lot of events, and just like you say, put ourselves on different platforms, and always build those relationships. Um, Awesome. The other part that I'm super interested is that you have built three funds internationally, right, between Canada and United States, and that's not a small feat. So tell us a little bit about the challenges of building these funds and how do you overcome them?
Oh my gosh, have we've been through everything. One recommendation I would have actually for the ladies here tonight is like get a mentor. You know, don't be crazy like I was and build everything from the ground up by yourself. Because like that's literally what I did. And I mean there was a lot of, I mean, crazy amounts of hours working, and unbelievable until until we started hiring people. We did a deal, did another deal, and then we started hiring people on, right? But still you work crazy hours even when you have teammates, because you're scaling and you're overseeing every department, and it's crazy. But um, international investing is a different beast and ball game. It is insane. And when we first started, so we are originally a Canadian firm. CPI stands for Canadian Passive Investing. CPI Capital is the name of our company. The reason we completely changed the name is because a lot of Americans wanted to invest with us, and they're like, "Hey, Ava, do we have to transfer our funds to Canada?" And I'm like, "No, not at all. Like, we have a headquarters in Naples and we have a headquarters in Vancouver." So we changed the name. This is years ago. But when we first launched our first fund, we have a bit of we actually have a huge advantage. I mean, we're the leading firm in Canada that has really cracked the code for cross-border investing to assist Canadian investors to come into the US. And not only do we bring millions of dollars every year into the US, but we've literally cracked the code. And what I mean by that is when we first started, it's so funny, and you guys can probably all relate to this. When you talk to an accountant, let's say, and you talk to 5 different accountants, they all kind of say something different. They don't all say the same thing. So, or an attorney, okay, let's
Or
say.
a doctor.
Or a doctor, that's right. So we were ripping our hair out when we first started because we're like, oh my God, what is going on here? Because we talked to like 40, no jokes, like 40 different lawyers, accountants, cross-border accountants. They're all saying something different. To this day, we're like experts and we still have people say things that I'm like, I don't think so. My partner, August, knows more than lawyers. Like, and lawyers are like, oh my God, you actually know more about this than I do in some cases. It's like the funniest thing because we've cracked the code. We've been through everything. We've actually executed it. We've done it. But yeah, every time that we do a deal, we create a Canadian entity and a US entity. And then the Canadians have the luxury of accessing US real estate that provides these incredible returns without being double taxed, without having to file taxes to the IRS. They literally are doing everything within Canada. So it's very exciting for them. Now, we also just launched a mutual fund trust. This is a vehicle. I mean, I know you mentioned using your retirement funds, IRA, 401k. Well, in Canada, we have something similar. It's not called the same thing. It's called RSP TFSA. But there's $2 trillion of these registered funds sitting around. And we actually just launched a fund that allows them to use their registered funds, our same thing as our IRA or 401k, to invest into our deals in the US. So there's lots happening in the Canadian side, but yeah, the international funds that we've created, it's very simple. Canadians invest into a Canadian entity, and that Canadian entity crosses the border and invests into the entity that owns the asset on the US side. So it just acts as one investor, and invests alongside all of the other US investors that are part of investing into that syndication as limited partners. So that's exactly how it works. I mean, that's not exactly how it works. It's much more complex than that.
Oh yeah.
But on a high level, that's how we did it, and we're really excited about it.
Absolutely. There's definitely I have investors from Canada, and every time I think even investors just freak out themselves because just like you say, there's so much information and everybody says different things. And for us syndicators to take money from Canada is different. So it's just very, very particular. There's a lot of tax differences. So yeah, no, I'm super excited that you guys have hacked the code, and you know you're offering that opportunity for Canadians to invest in real estate in United States. You know, they kind of get the best of both worlds, right? Because they are getting the returns of United States. So that's super good. um and now let's get into, you know, you're a mom of 202. You know, just like as you mentioned at the beginning, you really like to be present on both parts, right? We already talk a lot about, you know, kicking ass on the business world, but it's important to be present. You know, it's super special to be a mom, and of course they need you, especially when they are under 2. So how do you say there's for women we have to hack the code on how to get it all right? We don't have to sacrifice our career to be a mom, and vice versa, relationships and all that. So tell us about, you know, you know, how it is to deal with 202, but how do we get it all?
I love it. I love talking about this and being real about this and not like hiding anything and just literally throwing it all on the table because I mean, before my children, I felt like I was overwhelmed building the company. I'm like, this is too much. Like, there's so much happening. How am I going to, like, we worked on weekends for many years. And then we finally decided, hey, we should not work the whole weekend. Like, we should take a day off to try to rejuvenate. Right. And then, of course, the first baby came, and then obviously the second baby now. But I always, I looked at myself as a mother, and I'm like, who do I want to be? Because obviously we learn from how we were treated or raised as children, and then we look at, you have a husband, right? So then you look at how his upbringing was, and we know the things that we don't want to do. We know the things that served us, and we know the things that we wish we would have got as from our parents, right? So I put all this stuff together, and I'm like, okay, as a mom, my key responsibilities is to be calm, right? When everybody's in chaos, you got to stay calm, right? The next thing is being very organized. So I'm like, okay, let's start building out the SOPs for everything to try to get the company organized so I can have peace at that, and then try to build out the SOPs for the kids. And then it's like, you have to make time for yourself. And that's, I think, having all my mom girlfriends, some people don't take time for themselves. And they literally can't be the best that they can be for everybody else around them. That's one thing that was like a non-negotiable for me. I'm like, I need to take care of my mental health. I need to be calm, to be organized, to be the best mom I can be when I show up. And that's by doing certain things that I need to do, right? Like go to the gym. Even when had a baby and I was so pregnant. I mean, I went to the gym every single day, but people would come up to me at the gym and be like, when are you due? This is my second baby and my first baby. I'm like, I'm actually due today. And they're like, what are you doing at the gym? I'm like, this is my happy place. And I have a culture in my house that we go to the gym every day. And people might think that's absolutely crazy, but it's what serves me. So whatever serves you, make sure you do that, because that's how you can stay healthy, happy, mentally, physically. And usually if you're feeling good physically, it does help, obviously, with your emotional state as well. So that's one thing that I like to say is always just like making sure that you take care of yourself, and then you can show up for others, and don't forget to do that. I mean, my gosh. But yeah, I like to stay very present with my children. So it's like people ask me like, how are you doing this all? Like, how have you not lost your mind yet? And I haven't slept in 6 months. That's the truth. Like, I've been up at least 3 to 5 times every night because my second son doesn't really sleep much. But we do have adrenaline, obviously, as mothers, and we do have different hormones that kick in, like totally. Because if you ask me back, if you asked me back in the day, I would be like, that's not possible, but it is possible. And what I do is, when I'm with my children, CPI capital does not exist. Okay, it just doesn't. When I'm with my kids, they exist, and that's it. And that's for 6 hours out of the day. And people are like, what do you mean 6 hours? I'm like, no, it's actually for 6 or 7 hours, because my kids wake up at 5. The little one, I spend even more than that because he's with me throughout the whole day. We have a babysitter come once in a while, but I'm kind of on and off with my husband. And 6 hours present. Some people have said to me before, and no judgment at all, you spend as much time as you want with your little ones, but just whatever time you spent, just be present. And that is how I kind of manage everything. Is when I'm working, I'm so present and focused on my work. And then when I'm with my children, the business and other things don't exist. Like, I won't even answer my phone, right? I'm not available. I'm with the kids and I'm present with them. That way you feel like you can have it all, because you're not lacking at something. You're not discarding something, or you're not, feeling like you're in chaos. Oh my God, my phone's going off. Oh no, I got to get back to these emails. It just doesn't work that way. And then also, like, ask for help. I always say, one time I was super overwhelmed, and my husband's like, what's going on? Just ask for help, and since then I'm like, okay, yeah, that's so smart. So there's a book called Who Not How, and that literally changed my life, because I am OCD and I am like a control freak when it comes to everything, to the point where my husband is still, I love Vanessa's heart, to the point where my husband's still like, why are you doing that? Like, we've hired on like 4 people to do exactly what you're doing. I'm like, but I'm still building out the SOP. It's not ready to be handed off yet. And he's like, you're crazy. But the book Who Not How by Dan Sullivan, it gets into how to delegate, right? Become a master at delegation. And oh my God, it can literally change your life. Because I was trying to literally do it all, And then you never want to feel overwhelmed. I think when you feel overwhelmed or anxiety, it's your body telling you have too much going on for what you can handle. So that book really helped me a lot over the years. It's like, who can I delegate this to? What should I spend my time and focus on? I'm great at relationships. I'm great at raising capital. I'm possibly good at speaking on platforms. Focus on that, and everything else try to delegate. And there's Upworks and there's Fiverr and there's all these incredible VAs out there that you can bring on to take on certain tasks that you don't have to be doing. So we can have it all as long as we're healthy emotionally and physically, as long as we take care of ourselves first, and then the rest of it's like this beautiful trickle effect that can all kind of come into place.
I love it. I love it because this is, of course, this is kind of like my plan, but it's in my mind. And of course, I hear a lot of comments like, "Oh, wait until it's real and wait until you have the babies and all that." But I have heard from so many successful women that, right, like, first of all, like, put yourself first, and it's so hard, and I can see how hard it could be because of course you want to be with your babies, especially like when they are very, very small. They need you, but just showing up for yourself first. Like for me, the gym is the same thing, right? Like that's a non-negotiable. Like that's my therapy. That's everything, right? Like show up for me so I can show up for my husband, right? Like I can show up for the business. And God will, if I have kids, like show up for them. But sometimes we want to show up for everybody first, and it's so easy to just forget about us, right? But understanding that we're never gonna show up fully if we haven't show up for ourselves, if we haven't prioritize ourselves, right? Like for me, it's the same thing, like the gym, but some other people are different, right? Whatever is your peace and your me time is either drinking a cup of coffee at 5 in the morning or reading, for going for a walk, whatever, but just like showing up for yourself, taking care of yourself so you can take care of others. Because I think that's probably, as women, we are so caring. That's that's how we are. Like we want to take care of everybody around us, of course our immediate family, but even uh church or charities, like we just want to help. That's within us.
We do. Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
so hard to just sometimes be like, hey, hold on, I also need to show up for myself. I also have to have grace on myself. So that's super, super important. I love your whole plan because I swear that's exactly my plan, but it's
Right.
important. And I love that somebody is telling me, yes, it is possible. Because there's so many people saying like, no, once you're in the trenches, it's a completely different ball game. So I love
And
that.
that's a picture. And my sister, God bless her, because she's literally the best mom I've ever seen. And she said, "Oh my God," her kids are 6 and 10 now, and she says, "Oh my God, you're so calm. Like even when they're crying, and like, how are you so calm?" She's like, "Oh, wait a second." She's like, "Because you do go to the gym." I remember that because there's a daycare at our gym, actually, a daycare, and they're perfectly fine. We can see the kids right there. Like we can see them
Yes.
right there, right? And she's like, "Oh my God, back in the day, I would have never did that. I would have never went to the gym and left my kids in the daycare in the gym. No way, because maybe germs or whatever she was saying." She's like, "Now I realize it probably would have been better for them if I would have had that hour to myself because I could have been a better mom." Like, and she's the best mom in the world. But she was constantly in their face at all times, "Mommy, mommy, like here, da, 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 da," right? So she's like, "Oh my God, I get it." She's like, "If I have another baby," and she might, even though the kids are so old, she might, you never know. She's like, "I think I'm gonna follow your lead a little bit more and not think that, yes, your babies, of course they need you, but it's okay. Don't have like this, I call it mom guilt. And my goal is
Yes.
not to have mom guilt. I never wanted to have mom guilt. Okay. I mean, I haven't cut my hair in about a year. You can see that. You can tell I'm lacking on some things. Because I'm like, I still have, like, I don't really get my hair done and my nails done as much as I want to, but I'm okay with that. But I don't want to have, because it does get crazy and your time goes down a lot. But I didn't want to have mom guilt. So having a massage once in a while, sneaking away for an hour and, delegating the kids to the dad or something like that. Just do it. You will be the best, calmest person that you can be, the best version of yourself. 100%. And Jazmin, congratulations on just getting married. That's so exciting.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited for this new chapter, and just I guess we take, of course, I'm the person who plans everything, SOPs for everything, but at the same time, enjoy the process. I have enjoyed the whole process of getting married. I know, what it takes, and now whatever comes, we're super excited. So just enjoy, and just something that you mentioned, and I'm also super strong on that, is just being present, right? Like, if I'm with my husband, like, there's nobody else in the world, just him. If I'm with my family, like, my parents live like an hour away from where I live, like, just being present. I have three nephews, two nephews and one niece, all of them 3 under 3. So same thing when I'm with them, like, just being full of present, so that way you don't feel like, oh, I was with them, but then I was taking phone calls. And I did at one point that, like, oh, gotta sneak out because I have a Zoom meeting and then come back and all that. So now, of course, there's sometimes that are, unexpected things comes, but I really try to plan and just be fully present. And I want to give the chance to you ladies to ask any questions to Ava, because she is so amazing, and we have a few minutes. I definitely want to respect your time, but if you have questions, comments for her, please raise your hand. I know there is a question on the chat that says, are you doing this for US citizens to invest in Canada?
Not at all. We do not invest in Canada. We don't touch,
I don't think
we
anybody
don't
wants
touch
those
Canadian real
returns.
estate. No, we do not touch Canadian real estate. We haven't, and we actually stopped completely. We will not invest in Canada at all. We only invest in the US. So
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
any
great question.
American investor wants the returns in Canada.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we're very, there is good investments in Canada, obviously. I mean, Canada is a great country. But with landlord restrictions, it's not business friendly. Government legislation has so many rules and regulations. I mean, even for BTR deals, I mean, my God, my partner used to do ground up development. Took 3 years to get permits. Could you imagine, Jazmin? The IRR
Yeah.
would plummet. It just doesn't work, And then, I mean, there's rent control. I mean, you're allowed, it's like possibly up to 2% you're allowed to increase the rent. I mean, could you imagine and you're not allowed to kick the tenant out in some cases. So you're stuck with this tenant at a fixed rent because of these rules. Could you imagine? The business model is not going to work. Cap rates in Vancouver are like 2%.
Yeah, no. That will probably be the fastest way to lose investors' money.
Yeah. You're just investing. It's, a lot of wealthy people will come and park their money in Vancouver because it's, for capital preservation. Definitely. It's a great place, obviously, to invest, but it's not for our business model, cash flow.
Not for real estate. I'm pretty sure there
No,
are
not-
other models. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. A great question.
Yeah, any other questions? We have a few minutes. Vanessa has a question. Vanessa is our top. She's always asking questions, so I love that because
Amazing.
you're really learning from these ladies that are amazing. So go ahead and unmute yourself, Vanessa. Ask your question, and then we go to Wanda. So we have a few minutes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. First and foremost, thank you so much for acknowledging the questions, and huge congratulations as well. And thank you so much for everything you said today. Like, I truly admire your journey, and it was really inspirational and really helpful. So thank you so much for everything you shared today. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned the book, for example, Who Not How. And I wanted to ask you if you have any other recommendations on maybe writers or authors in general, or particular books, however you want to, that you think have really helped you with your success, especially like, since we were touching like both areas, like just life in general and then like business wise, I would love to hear your recommendations.
Yeah, yeah, I guess on the personal side, Brene Brown, have you heard of her?
I have
Brene
heard of
Brown?
her, but I can't remember any books in particular. I don't know if you have any in particular.
Yeah, I let me see if I can go to my Audible and
Oh,
take a look at some of the books in my library. I know Brene Brown. Right now, I'm reading honestly all children's books, like by Daniel J. Siegel. He's an MD. I'm reading every book out there on how to be the best parent. Like, what to do if your toddler is, those kind of books. So I've been reading all those. Like one of them is called Atlas of the Heart. Atlas is actually my son's name, but I didn't even get it from Brene Brown. But this is a book that I really love. Life Force by Tony Robbins was really incredible as well on like the personal side. I really enjoyed that one. Um, let's see. Oh my gosh, there's so many of them. Lifespan for being healthy, Why We Sleep, something that makes me depressed because I can't sleep anymore. So I don't want to read that book anymore. Um, oh my gosh, Dr. Joe Dispenza is my favorite of all times. Okay. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, right? I think like success in life and everything comes down to emotional intelligence, just being at peace, no matter what's happening in your world, being at peace, having your soul be at peace. That is like my daily, win is just feeling at peace all day long. Like I've really spent the last 5 years of my life because there was a lot of go, 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 go. And I'm like, oh my God, when am I? No, you can have peace when there's lots on the go. You don't have to go to the beach every morning and meditate and have an hour to kumbaya by yourself. And, you don't have to do that. You can actually have peace in an absolute chaos. So I've actually cracked the code on doing that as well. And a lot of it was actually Dr. Joe Dispenza. And yeah, I mean, the Checklist Manifesto is another one. The Checklist Manifesto, I have a checklist for everything. And the Checklist Manifesto comes from like a doctor who in surgery had to follow a checklist. So the person literally doesn't die, right? So not only do I have SOPs, but I have a checklist. So whenever I do anything, down to my baby, going to daycare, there's a checklist to leave the door, like a physical checklist on my phone. That way, nothing ever, like that's part of being organized, right? Or, going on a trip, I have a checklist for for myself packing. And then I also have a checklist for my executive assistant to do when we're booking flights, like everything. So the checklist manifesto will change your life as well.
thank you
The list,
so much. Thank you
the
so
list,
much for all of the
yes. Yeah, absolutely, Vanessa. Great question.
Wanda, do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, hello. Thank you so much, ladies. And this all was very, very interesting. I'm relatively new to investing. I love your entrepreneurial spirit. I've had 3 companies in the past. I'm significantly older than you are. I actually have 7 grandchildren. But
Oh, that was you that said that.
yep.
Oh my gosh, incredible. God bless.
Yes, and it has been a fabulous journey. I'll say of all of my successes, by far, being a mother is the most success that you can ever aspire to for me. I mean, and I'm very, very blessed. But anyway, in my other businesses, I've definitely lived on a roller coaster. It's been a lot of fun. I will take the roller coasters and risk any day over a boring merry-go-round. Okay. I'm very calculated with my risk, but I am always willing to take risk. I've got patents. I've been very published. I've done a lot of things in the past, but I'm new to real estate. So I'm very intrigued by what you're saying. I joined the big dogs to start getting acclimated to real estate. I'm forming my own network right now. I've got 3 people in my own little group so far. One of them's one of my daughters, who's also a realtor in the Austin area. But I would love to, learn a little bit more about what opportunities you have for people like me who are looking to get into this. And I want to know what would be the advantage of forming a relationship with you at this stage. Right now, I have 2 properties that I purchased on Lake Travis that I'm building new homes on to be able to resell them because I have significant profit built into it. So, but I haven't started doing anything other than those first 2 properties. So I'd love to know, tell me more about what a potential relationship someone like me would look for with you.
Amazing, Wanda. Yeah, nice to meet you and congrats on all your
Yes.
success, both business and professionally. That's incredible. Yeah, I would say there's a couple different ways. So building a relationship with me, I mean, we obviously have LPs that come on our deals, right? So all of our deals are typically the same. It's project specific. So what we do is when we find a deal, we put it under contract, and then we actually have an investment webinar where we present the deal to investors live. Minimum investment's 50K. So building a relationship that way is as an LP investor, okay, investing with us, me as a GP in my firm. The other way would be to, talk to me about what you're looking to do. I mean, are you looking to be more of a passive? Or are you looking to be more active in the real estate world?
I'm not sure yet because I have not looked yet at commercial investing.
Got
That's one of
it.
the reasons why I decided to attend this webinar.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, I'd say a lot of people, they get really excited about the commercial real estate space, right? Especially, the reason I love it so much is because there's no cap. I always say this, there's no
Yeah.
cap on how successful you can really be, with the W-2, you know what you're going to get paid for your salary. Maybe there's some bonuses here and there, but there's really no cap. Obviously, you got to put the time in as well. I mean, I help investors invest passively, but by God, this is not a passive for me. It's like you're all in, and it seems like you've enjoyed building businesses. So if you're more interested on being on the active side, eventually down the road, as you kind of fall in love with the world of commercial real estate, keep in mind that we're focused in Florida and Texas. And we do offer the opportunity for investors that want to come on board as like a co-GP. This is for people who really love the world of commercial real estate. Maybe they have, certain things that they're very good at, whether it be underwriting or asset management or connecting with investors or that kind of stuff. So that's also something that we could potentially talk about in the future as well.
Okay. And
Just
by the
throw
way,
that
I
in
have a tip for you, a book by Dr. Laboye. It's called Loving Hands.
Okay.
When I was in my 20s and I first had my children, I worked for an organization called the Better Birth Foundation. Loving Hands is an amazing book about the significance of human touch, especially learning infant massage and stimulation for newborns. It is
Oh,
amazing
nice.
way to bond with your babies, to relax your babies, it's like I said, I highly recommend that book. But this is, and this just has to do with parenting. I loved it. And I taught massage to my own children who have now taught their children. So, but the
Wow.
importance of human touch cannot be emphasized enough.
Oh, that's beautiful. Is it the traditional art of baby massage? Is that the one?
Nope, this one's called Loving Hands.
Oh yeah, it says Loving Hands, the
Yep,
traditional art.
yes, yep.
That's the
It's
one.
been around for a
Okay.
long time and it is fabulous.
I love it. Amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really into the attachment styles right now because that also, you can pass that down from, we have our own attachment style, and then we can kind of obviously create the attachment style of our babies, which will then pass down. It's like stopping the generational trauma and having a clean slate for the next generation, right? So that's
Yeah, and it
beautiful.
also created some new traditions in my family because my kids are almost 4 years apart. And even my older daughter used to massage her baby sister to sleep if she got fussy. And I loved watching that.
Oh, wow.
And their
Amazing.
relationship is one of the most unique I've seen for sisters. I'm one of 5 girls, so I should know, but theirs is amazing because of the way they bonded from the time Michelle was born.
I love that. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. I'm going to
Yeah.
totally get that book.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do you have time? We have 2 more questions, but
I do.
yeah, okay, awesome. Sunday, you wanna unmute yourself?
Yes, hi.
Nice.
This is Blessing.
Oh,
My question is, when you first introduced, when Jasmine first introduced you, what did she say? Oh, she said that your mission is to get a million women to get into commercial real estate. So my question is, who did you target to raise your capital? To help you raise your capital, and did you use that same message to, if it was men, to, fund your deals?
Well, that's actually She's mission,
Okay.
right,
Oh, okay.
Jasmine? That's She's mission, but I'm
Yes.
being part of it. I'm being part of it by being on the platform too. So
Right.
I'm also trying to inspire and get women to invest in real estate as well.
Okay.
You know, yeah. So when we first started, on our last deal, we had like only 8% of women that were investors out of like 52 investors.
Wow.
So only 8%. So, I always try to inspire women to invest. They're a little bit more risk adverse, I'd say, possibly than men. And that's just who we are inherently, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but just stepping outside of our comfort zone and whatnot. But I would say like having an avatar. We were only focused on doctors when we first started, right? But what I realized is whoever you're focused on, you have to speak their language. So when you go to a doctor and you say, "Hey, cash flow," they're like, "Well, I don't really need cash flow, Ava. Like that's not something that I'm looking for." Maybe in the future they want to retire early. So talk about early retirement, don't talk about cash flow. So whatever avatar it is that you want to connect with, you've got to speak their language and know what they need. So that's my biggest advice there.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, one more question. Go ahead, Rita.
Hello. So just quick. Actually, I live in Fort Myers, and I was in your area today. It looks on the plaza, the 49110. So I see that your location is at 4850. So my question is, I still work 9 to 5. I'm not, involved in investing. Would be there a chance like to come to your office and like get familiar with what you do and learn like for free? I'm not expecting any reimbursement. It's like I'm interested about real estate. I attended many webinars, and I met Jazmin and Tampa and St. Petersburg.
Oh,
But
nice.
still, so I was wondering.
Oh, well, nice. And Jasmine, sorry, where are you located?
I'm in Houston, but since we
Okay,
travel
nice.
with
Okay.
she, we hosted an event in
Oh, nice.
Stampede. Probably, I think it's been a year, probably.
Yeah, it's been a year. Yeah,
Oh,
and
nice. Okay.
St. Petersburg over a year.
Wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say we actually acquired a property in St. Pete. So I was like, hey, where do you live? But yes, absolutely. You can reach out to me. We can definitely schedule a time and connect, and I can go through some of our past properties and our current properties, obviously, that we've invested in, and run you through the business model of both the multifamily and the BTR. 100%. That's what I'm here to do.
Oh, okay. So just call the number provided on the website, the 602.
You know what? That's actually my number, so you can actually just text me.
Okay. Thank
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome.
Thank
I would
you.
love to connect with you. Yeah,
Thank
my
you.
pleasure.
And also, if you scan the QR code that Eva has on her background, it will take you to her webpage. I also put it on the chat and her LinkedIn as well. She's really good at LinkedIn, so be sure to connect with her. And whoa, any last words of advice? Thank you so much for your time. This has been amazing. I was super excited to have you on. And of course, this exceed every expectation. But any other words of advice before we wrap this up?
I would just say look for that beautiful internal peace every day, no matter what you got going on in life, because that's what life is about. We got to be happy, live happy, feel peaceful every day, no matter what's going on. And that should be, what you're focused on in life, because then everybody benefits from it around you as well. It was so lovely being on the show today. Thank you guys all. It was lovely meeting you all, and I look forward to staying in touch.
Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure having you, and I look forward to meeting you in person soon.
Absolutely. Take
All
care,
right.
everybody.
Thank you all. Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Bye. Take care.